I'm reliving this.
That one was
the only one I don't want to relive because it scares me to this day
is
that 9-10 footer over there at Black. That one's scared.
Well, let's we'll
get
into that.
It freaks me out to even talk about it.
20-30 yards away was this thing peeking over this pine bush.
It was a large, hairy animal, dark brown, black hair.
All of a sudden, this creature let out I want to call it a blood-curdling, growling, howling scream.
That's when I realized it wasn't my friend that had snuck up on me.
Dude, all the branches that are broken off are red.
That's crazy. There's no medulla.
Hey guys, Glenn here with Modern Explorer with another long-form interview for you. This one's with a gentleman named Jack. He lives here in Canyon City. We've been in contact with each other and talking to each other for the past couple of years. He reached out to me quite a while ago and told me about some encounters he had. One of them was down in Florida, and some other ones up here in Colorado, specifically in the Wa Mountain, Black Mountain area. So again, it's a long form interview, and I'm really excited about this one because we go through in detail all of his stories, what he saw, how he encountered it, as well as going on site and getting, visuals of where things happen and what happened for him there. And specifically a terrifying encounter he had up at Black Mountain where he was afraid for his life and didn't want to go back there. So stay tuned, you'll see where that all is. If you like this, let me know. Subscribe, notifications, all that good stuff, comment below. It really helps the algorithm, and we're trying to get the channel up and moving. We've got some other cool stories coming up, so stay tuned and let me know what you think about this one. Cheers. Jack, thank you for sitting down with me. We've been adventuring a bit together. You told me the story quite a while ago. So basically I want to drill down on 3 of the stories you have.
Okay. Okay, the one in Florida, the rock
and then
throwing,
your 2 encounters up at
Black.
Up at Black.
Okay. North Black.
But you've had a full life doing a lot of very interesting things. And the whole Bigfoot thing, how long have you been looking into this?
I became a believer about 45, 46 years ago when I saw one. Okay. I only heard of the folklore.
Okay. So where did you see this?
I was in Florida building condos on the about midway down Tavernier Key, right in that area, Small Key. You pass those islands. And I lived to the south area of the island of Key Largo. That was your first island that you come into on Highway 1. That's where we lived. Okay. And we rented a little house from an attorney friend of ours, my wife and I, new wife. And that was my first encounter, was at that house. Now, I grew up with the Seminole Nation. We were invited to live with them when we moved out of Ohio. So anyway, I heard there on the reservation, all the young kids knew you don't go out in certain areas at night or certain areas of the forest because of the big hairy man. He was known as the big man or the big hairy man among that tribe. And I just, I thought it was like the boogeyman story, right? Growing up. I never saw one. My father was a professional trapper. He lived in the woods. This is where he preferred to be after World War II. So we used to go in the woods, my brother and I, who's 7 years older than myself. We used to go in all the time in the woods. I started hunting at 5 years old with a little 22 single shot. And we used to eat what we killed. There were no schools. Our school was the woods. Okay. I could out-track, out-hunt, out-cook wild game, anybody as a little boy. That's how we lived. This is where I first heard of these big hairy creatures. Later on in life, I went back to Florida. I wanted to go back to most stomping ground areas, but I ended up on the island of Key Largo. And we had this little house, my new bride and I, that we rented from a friend of ours. And I woke up doing construction. I was real tired and thirsty all the time. I woke up about 2:30 in the morning, and I always had my back porch light on. Got up my normal time about 2:30, did my business, got up, I went to my cold water jug that I kept in the refrigerator. And as I opened the fridge, I'm hearing something knocking around in my burn barrel, because you have to burn your trash there. There is no trash service. So you burn all your paper, cardboard, and anything that's paper, you burn it, And so I'm hearing something in there. The first thought went through my mind was, wow, I haven't seen a raccoon over here. I bet you that's a coon in my burn barrel, because I put some old fruit in there, old, real dark bananas and apples that were starting to, get bad. Put my water jug back in the fridge and then went over and looked through the back door. It's about from here to that bench. What is that? About 10 feet?
10 feet,
Yeah,
10,
10 feet. And that's where I come out the back door and I throw the trash in the burn barrel. I didn't want to walk way out there, So I looked and I read about them in Miami Herald about the skunk ape. Now that was something I wasn't aware of, was the skunk ape, till I read it in the Miami Herald. That people are seeing this creature, they're now naming it the skunk ape. It wasn't the big hairy man. And I looked at this thing and I was like paralyzed.
So let me set the picture. This is what time morning?
About 2:30.
About 2:30
with the
in the morning.
porch light on.
Porch light on.
Yes. From here to there.
Okay. And you just walked out and you see this. No,
I looked out the back door.
You looked out the back. So
through the window.
Oh, so is it like a big sliding door? Is it just
No, it's just a regular wooden door with a big window.
Oh, okay.
It's like what's at my house now.
Okay.
It's one of those, the old 1900 doors. And I looked at it and I could not understand what I was seeing. It didn't make sense.
What was it doing?
It was in there and it was getting to the bananas and getting the old ripe, they get sweeter, they get more ripe. And then it was eating the bananas. And I guess it felt my presence locked up on it, looking at it just with total disbelief. And it turned like this. And it looked at me and I thought I was going to melt. Its eyes, which it doesn't make sense to me. The only thing that I can compare its orangish red glowing eyes. I think it was glowing from the light. I think the light had an effect that made this reddish orange come out. It's kind of like, you ever go shrimping? They got those orange lights when you put a light on. Same color.
Okay.
That's what it reminded me of, is the eyes on a shrimp when you light it up. And it turned and looked at me, eyeball to eyeball. Its face didn't have any hair. It didn't have much hair on its head either. But I'd say from here down it did. Okay, and it was a reddish dark color, the fur is what I remember. And I couldn't believe what I was seeing, and I just tried to get a hold of myself to make sense of all this. And I looked back up again to make sure what I was seeing. Gone. So
when you say it was in the trash can, was it bent over digging into it?
Yes.
So it wasn't physically in it?
Oh, no. It was going like this, getting the fruit and, getting to it. Yeah, it wasn't in it. It was standing next to it.
Standing next to it, digging around in there.
Yes, getting the fruit out. Fruit.
When it was bent over, was its... where was it bending? I mean, was it just its arms reaching in? Was it bending at its waist?
It was hit the barrel somewhere about in here on it.
Okay.
About around here.
55-gallon drum.
Yeah, it was an old barrel that we used, and we punched holes so we could burn trash in it. And it wasn't as tall as the ones you hear about now. Yeah, I mean, I've heard all unbelievable sizes.
Yeah.
This wasn't that tall. This is about 5'7", 5'8". It was under 6 foot because I'm 6'3".
So coming down from the head down, did you see ears on it?
Yeah, I did, and they were tight. They were tight against its head, like this.
And were they small? Were they? Proportional?
They were
You see?
proportional to its
Yeah.
head.
Can you describe its face?
It had a little bit of a monkey face,
Okay.
and the nose wasn't like ours. It was more like this. It was more pushed in,
Okay.
like this.
Could you
And
see its nostril? Like gorillas and stuff, you could see the nostrils.
no,
from the
well, I might have. I don't remember.
Okay.
I was paralyzed.
Okay.
It affected me in a way that I was questioning myself, like, what is wrong with you?
So it looks at you.
Yeah.
Did its face change?
It looked a little surprised that I was standing there staring at it, and it didn't know right away. But I think what it realized was I wasn't going to hurt it.
Okay.
I was just looking at it. There's a difference. Animals know.
Yeah. So you're looking at this thing.
Yeah.
It's looking at you.
Yes.
How long did you observe it for?
I'd say at least 15 to 20 seconds
Okay.
before I just trying to get a hold of myself and kind of blink and look back out. After that, and poof, it was like gone.
Did you hear anything?
Yeah, I heard the rustling in the barrel. That's
Rustling
what
in the
drew me. I thought it was a raccoon,
Okay.
but I didn't see one before. That's why I was real curious if
Yeah.
it was that. What else would it be? Or it was one of the Cubans,
Yeah. Yeah.
one of the Marielitos. They were hungry. I don't know. I had to look, of course. I'm very protective of my family and space.
So you look up and you clear your head, you look up and it's gone.
And it's gone.
You never saw it leave.
I never saw it. I mean, in a blink, it was gone. I mean, I just trying to get a hold of myself. I couldn't even understand me. What's wrong with me?
Now how I'm trying to picture the neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
Because you got a house. Where's your nearest neighbor?
Okay, we lived like a V. Here's Highway 1 coming down like this. There was a V. The right side kept going towards Key West. You go to the left, there's some homes past the canal. We lived by a canal that was like 40 to 65 feet deep in different areas. We used to scuba dive 3 times a week there. And the left would go around the canal. We were by ourselves, like our own little island of a house.
Okay, so
'Cause here's the
you didn't have any
canal.
neighbors nearby.
Oh, no. They were across from where the canal was, and the Highway 1 was over here. If you took that fork, it's way over here.
And was it forested? I mean,
Yes, with mangroves.
mangroves.
Thick. You ever walk through mangroves?
No.
Oh, it's very hard. Very hard. You got to go to branch to branch to branch, and sometimes you slip and fall in the water.
Okay.
That was our backdrop.
Okay.
And here's the mangroves, and here's the canal that went out to the Atlantic Ocean. Eventually went out to the Atlantic.
That's awesome.
Oh, it's a beautiful place.
So that's your first experience.
That made me believe there's something more to this story than just folklore.
Okay.
These things are real, especially after I read about other people seeing this. I mean, this was like maybe a half a year or a year before I saw this thing.
So what year is this?
This was about the middle of 1980 to the latter part of 80, somewhere right in there
Somewhere
in
in
that
the
month.
That's your first experience.
That made me a believer. There's more to this story than what I just read. And what blew my mind, that paralyzed me, I spent most of my childhood, my playground was the woods with my dad and brother.
Mm-hmm.
We never saw anything like this, and we covered miles and miles and miles of land and swampland.
And your dad never said anything?
He never said nothing. He's dead now, and now I regret that I never discussed it. But this was something that if I couldn't believe it, no one else will.
Yeah.
You can read about it, but to see it is mind-boggling. It makes a believer real quick that these things there's something to it. So I went back. My wife was my new bride, was still sleeping, and I nudged her, and she goes, "What's going on?" I said, "You won't believe what I'm going to tell you, because I can't believe what I saw." And she was in shock, and I said, I didn't want to say too much because she's from Canada. It would have scared her.
Sure.
And I left her alone. She was, she did the house stuff, and I did the the earning, the bread or earning, and she took care of the house. But I didn't want to scare her because she was by herself, and the Marielitos scared her anyway.
Yeah.
I'm reliving this.
That one was
the only one I don't want to relive because it scares me to this day
is
that 9-10 footer over there at Black. That one scared.
Well, let's we'll get into that.
It freaks me out to even talk about it.
So you've left Florida.
You
come to Colorado.
Went to California first,
but you ended up here.
Right. I did my jobs. They ran out, and I transferred when I was working for the federal government as a federal officer. I finally became one, and I transferred to where I used to hunt and fish, which is here.
Okay.
I used to vacation here. Now I live here.
Okay. So you've come to Colorado. Is Bigfoot even on the brain?
Oh God, no.
So
not at all. Not at all.
The gap is now what, 20 plus years?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Okay, so now you're here.
Yeah, I'm here now.
You're hunting. You're enjoying.
Oh, I'm
Colorado.
enjoying life. And I got into as a professional guide for hunting, fishing.
So you go hunting
by myself,
by yourself,
and I was.
What year is this?
It was like 2000 and. It was just before 2000. It was before 2010, I believe.
Okay, right around 2010.
Yeah, 2010.
2010. What season are you hunting?
I'm doing an archaic hunt with a black powder.
Was there anybody else up there that you saw?
No. There's hardly anyone. And I hunt during the week anyway.
Yeah.
Nobody. They're usually working and stuff. And where I go, you don't see people.
So you're back there. And
I parked my Ranger up on top. Remember how we went all downhill? It was all downhill. So I parked up here, and I walked real slow with my black powder. And you would catch elk. Some of the biggest deer through the quakes, and you would be searching the quakes like this, and you go, "Oh my God, they're the big one," And I was hunting elk. I had a black powder elk permit to harvest one. So I had it in front of me, and I'm walking down, and I got down to the point where you went by the creek down there, and all of a sudden, I went at least a half a mile, maybe more, before I heard an impact behind me. I turned around like this, and it was a big rock like this that went thud behind me. I go, that wasn't there. I just walked that. That wasn't there.
What time of day is this? Morning?
I'm trying to remember.
Evening hunt?
It was getting a little bit later in the morning.
So we're going to head there. I'll show you what the area looks like, but it's beautiful, and we're trying to beat the storm so we don't get caught in mud in here. So what happened?
Yeah, I was checking that bank out right up ahead of us over there. And I hear this thud as I'm carrying my black powder, walking real slow. I'm looking at the tree line, inside the trees, looking up on the banks and looking across that draw right there. And I hear this thud. I'm going, thud? I turn around, and there's a rock about this big where I just walked. It wasn't there. And as I'm looking at this, trying to analyze how in the world this get here, I hear another thud in front of me. This isn't good. No vehicles around, no people around. I cocked back the hammer to hit the cap on my black powder and start backing up with this thing in front of me. I go, if I get hit by one of these rocks, I'm crippled or dead. And I'm by myself. I don't know if I can get out of here if it hits me in the ribs or the head or the chest or leg, break your leg, something that big like a bowling ball, I was looking up over here when I originally was looking for elk, and sometimes they'll be looking right between these huge aspens that are grandfather aspens.
Yeah.
These are monster trees.
And then the rocks came from up over here.
From that side. That's all I can tell you. It came from that side. I never saw it launch. Only thing I saw, I heard. And the only thing I saw was the one in front that thudded, and I turned around and I was able to see it actually roll, and it rolled this way. So that tells me it must have came this direction.
So, but you never heard it hit any of the branches?
No.
So let's go. I'm going to go check this out down here.
Okay.
It drops off precipitously down into a creek with lots of rocks in it. Now, Jack, the first one didn't even roll.
No. No, it's like if it was dropped like this, just dropped.
And the other one slightly rolled.
It slightly rolled up hills.
Look at all these rocks down in the river bottom.
And I'm over here.
From here.
But what I'm looking
Hey, wait a
at,
sec. Wait. If I duck down,
I can't see it. I can't see you.
I have access to rocks.
I can't see you when you bend down.
It's a very deep gully.
I was looking across at the bank, like it threw it like this.
I bet it was in here.
It might have
And
been
it lobbed up
it
at
might have
you.
Lobbed it. It might have lobbed it, you know, like a catapult.
So I'm gonna. Here's a rock.
Don't slip, Dad.
It's not a big rock.
Try to catapult it.
I'm gonna get stable.
That's a small rock. Go up. It's got to come down.
Conrad, try and catch this as I go.
Throw it
Okay.
at me.
Oh, slip. Let me get a different one.
Grab another one. But it was a lot bigger than that.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
What? Trying to get it so I don't slip it. 1, 2, 3. Whoop.
What, 20 feet? 15 feet?
Smaller. Yeah.
That was smaller. That was even smaller. You almost hit the road. Yeah, go up in the air.
Okay. You got 10, 12 feet.
You got about 10, 12 feet. Yeah.
That thing came from 30, 50 feet.
That takes some muscle.
If that came up and from
Down there.
downhill,
You're going uphill.
you're throwing uphill.
I'm telling you, it scared me. Man, I backed out of there going, I don't know what did this, but I don't want to find out by myself. Don't hurt your back.
Oh, that's a significant rock.
Throw it this way. Throw it that way. It's got to go through the air, though. Come on. There you go. What's that?
7, 8 feet.
Here.
6 feet.
Yeah, I don't think it came from up high. I think it came from down there
Well, I originally thought it came across on that bank.
on the bank. But even then,
The
Even
angle
then-
would be wrong. The angle would be wrong.
yeah,
Think
it would
about
be hitting tree branches.
You know, and it wouldn't. I think this one would have rolled. The one behind me would have rolled. It came up like this and dropped.
It was lobbed.
It was lobbed.
Now my eyes are about 6 feet as Jack is walking there. If I drop down a little more, I could see him, but he could not see me. Okay, Jack, thank you. I really do think it came from down here.
If it came from that side, it would have hit some trees, or it would have flown more horizontal instead of an arch.
Yeah, I'm gonna get the tape measure and do some measuring here.
Okay.
Tell me when, from there, tell me when I'm kind of at the more or less level.
Right about there. That's real close.
9, 10, 11, 12. That's about 13 feet from the bottom to about, so if that's 13 feet, so it's about 65 feet to the roadbed with a loft of maybe 20 feet to the roadbed from the river here.
And so I start backing out with that gun in front of me, looking for any movement. I mean, anything that just moves a smidgen. You know, my eyes are trained for that. And I didn't see nothing. That's not exactly right. I did see something that was dark in color. I just said it was an elk. What it was, I have no idea.
Was it at that time?
It was on the other side of that creek.
Okay, but
Going
was
back
it at that time after you went after these rocks? How long?
when I
after
started
the
backing
rocks?
up.
Okay, so short, like
Almost immediately.
Okay.
I started scanning the areas across the creek, down by the creek to the left of us, because there's a draw in there over in the left too, but that's not where the action was. It's over here on the right side. And I start backing on. I did see something dark. I could not make it out. I just said it was an elk or bear.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of elk and bear in there.
So that's
And I got to my truck and I couldn't get out of there fast enough. I didn't feel safe. I figured if it could place rocks that close to me, that's a warning. That's how I interpret. I go, get out, especially by yourself. You won't stand a chance. And so I did. I backed out, man. And as soon as I could get back in my Ford Ranger, my 4x4, I got out of there. I said, I don't want to hunt here. This is too dangerous.
so that hike it's at least a mile to maybe
Yeah,
two.
a mile and a half,
mile and a
maybe.
half, something like
Yeah, something like that.
As you're hiking out,
Yeah.
were you continually turning and
Yes.
turning behind you? And
Oh, I checked everywhere. I checked everywhere, side to side, behind me, see if it flanked me like a bear would.
yeah.
No.
Nothing.
No. The last I saw anything was running up through the trees up there in the bushes.
Okay.
And it was just dark. That's all I can tell you. It was dark in color. So that was my second experience. What it was, I had no idea. I didn't know if I was being harassed by some idiot out there, but nobody could throw a rock that far. I couldn't.
Yeah.
And I was pretty tough back then, and I couldn't do it.
Sure.
I'll tell you right. I mean, it came in like this. It didn't come in like this, like you throw sidearm or something, No, it dropped out of the sky.
Wow.
Yes. And I knew this is wrong. There's something seriously wrong here. What it was, I had no idea. But
You wouldn't even see a bear down there.
Nope.
Not even.
That's interesting, and that's where the water is.
That's where the water is. It might have been drinking water.
Might-
It might have come down from its home to get some water. And here I am walking down with a rifle, close
That's-
to its home.
Yeah.
Close to its home.
And this is within about a half a mile of where we found that tree branch stuck upside down.
Yes.
So this is absolutely beautiful country. I just saw something move over there. Right over in here, I saw something move quickly. It was just a flash. Maybe Jack scared a deer, maybe something else. So this is the first time we've come across something like this. And it's gross. That's how deep it was pushed in.
Hold your arm to it, like hold it lengthwise. Like that.
Up to my elbow from my fingertip. That's good 18, 20 inches. I'm going to try and find the hole again. Put it back in. Actually, I'm going to try and not find the hole.
And put it in somewhere else.
Put it in somewhere else. Okay, I can get it down. But you could see how much more there was sticking out. Good 6 inches. Con, I'm going to let you try and push it down the rest of the way. You're heavier than I am. You're getting your shoes wet. Go to where I was. That's interesting. Interesting. We found that upside down tree right over here. I'm going to see if it's the same one that came off of this. So here's the tree, and there's the branch. Conrad broke off and he left it at the bottom of the tree. I'm going to push that tree down to make sure this is the top of that tree.
You're going to see if the break matches.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
Yes, this is exactly that. This is exactly
Got it. Yeah.
the top of this tree.
And what is about 2.5 feet missing at the other end?
Well,
Where it
get
broke?
the piece.
Where it broke?
Let me get the piece.
Oh yeah.
Plus whatever is broken underground.
Underground.
So, I want to measure how tall that tree was. Let me get my tape measure.
Okay.
So there's about a foot sticking out of there. Hooking that here, the top of this tree, where it was broken, about 15.4, plus another foot there, so about 16 and a half feet off the ground. Wow. The branch itself that we found, the top of this was approximately at least 7.5 feet, you know, looking at the break, but then there's more underground, so I'm going to say that was 8 feet long, and that was stuck in the ground a good 2 feet. When we tried pushing it in, we couldn't get it in that deep. So either it was a freak storm that busted the top of that tree off, twirled it, stabbed it in the ground right here, 2 feet deep.
But it was perfectly vertical.
It was perfectly vertical, or
It wasn't on a slant.
something climbed up the tree and broke it off, which I don't believe happened. You saw how easy it was that I bust that down.
We said they didn't reach up and snap it.
Or they reached up and snapped it at, how tall did I say that was? 17 feet?
17 feet.
Reached up and snapped it at 17 feet. Which is crazy. And down here, just this little ways, is where Jack had the rocks thrown at him. As you drive out, I was considering that upside down tree. What do you think about that? What do you think that was going on there?
That was totally unnatural. All three of us saw that it was, and investigating it, it could have been a marker. It was too vertical to just fall off that tree and let the wind harpoon it in the ground. It would have been on a diagonal, but it wasn't. It was perfectly
straight up and
straight vertical.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what caught all our eyes. We all saw it. It was out of place.
And I want to go look at that tree right there. Give me a second. Something over here. A bunch of breaks. I think it's all deadfall. But it definitely caught my attention. But yeah, looking at it, I think this is all just deadfall. But this is what adventuring in the woods will get you. Yeah.
see?
Yeah, this caught my attention too. But they're all going.
Look at this break.
That is interesting. That's 4
Look
feet
how
up.
That's hung up in there.
Yep.
Where did this come from?
Okay, let's
I don't
find
see
it.
where it broke.
Let's find it. They're all the same direction, so it could be wind. But I'm not readily, unless it came off that big tree when it came down in some shape, way, or form. So there's a lot of branches missing off that big tree.
Look at this one. Broke at the top.
Yep.
It's a clean break almost.
I mean, there's... Oh, that's an interesting thing.
Look at this over here.
Looking at the breaks on these trees. They seem to be rather linear along the line,
Green stick break.
like a natural break.
Yeah.
Whereas this is,
That was snapped.
that was snapped.
Yeah.
The tree that we found had this kind of a break, a very sharp,
Yeah.
a very sharp, crisp break.
Snap. Yeah.
Versus looking at all these, I mean, these are dead.
Yeah,
These
so
are
you
obviously,
see where that's ripped
that just
off.
ripped off and broken off.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing.
So-
Look at these on the ground that are stacking up down there.
Yeah.
Do you see that?
Yeah. Again, yes, I do. And, you know, you see this and it's like, you would easily walk past this.
Oh, this is interesting.
Does it mean anything? I don't know.
They're going everywhere.
Okay, looking at the direction. So this is interesting. Because what order did this fall in? Okay, let's say it's a natural deadfall. The bottommost was the first. This is a second. This is a third over the top of that. This long branch is next. This one is next. This one is over the top of that one, but it's under a previous one. Look at this.
I can see that.
That is woven.
So that was 2010,
Yeah,
Black Mountain.
yeah, about 29.
2009,
Yeah.
2009.
And then I went
Hunting
hunting
season of
again.
2009.
Yeah, that was later. I did another hunt in 2010. It was my next encounter.
Okay, so I'm sorry. So the black powder was 2009.
Yeah,
Black powder.
yeah.
So we're talking September. September.
yeah, it's in September, black powder.
And it's all fully green trees.
Oh,
and
it's
that
beautiful.
is beautiful.
Oh, it's God's country.
So now you're up there. Now your second encounter is in Black
Black
is it in the
Mountain,
same-
but I was south by southwest this time.
So
That's
it's not
where.
in the same area.
Oh no, I didn't want to go back by myself.
So
that-
how far
yeah.
away is this second location? It's probably about
Let me think.
3-4 miles. Maybe 5 miles.
No, not at all. I'd say maybe 3.
About 3.
About 3. It seems longer because you got to go slow. The road is so rough you can't go fast.
Yeah,
So it seems like forever to get to that turnoff.
Yeah.
You know, to the right.
but so now
It's
what
another year.
What year and what season is this?
This is 2010, and this is center fire. I always do the late hunt or the late hunt, which is in November. So then that would be the next time I saw it at Black Mountain was over in that area.
Okay, so now, so it's November.
November.
You drive in.
Yes.
Start from there. What do you?
This
do?
was in the later afternoon.
Okay.
Is what I'm remembering. The sun. It was good. I tried to get my position. Let's see. If this is like a little mountain, they got a dirt road that goes up like this on the east side of this little mountain, and you can only go so far, and you got to stop. From there, I took my high-powered rifle, and I knew there'd be game up here. I saw tracks. I saw I saw a lot of tracks of different animals. So I knew they felt safe in this area, and the observation from there, man, you can see things coming a long way.
As I am up here, this is the view from up at the top.
I thought I'm gonna get one. I was real sure I was gonna get one.
So there's a little thicket up there.
Yeah, with aspens, and mostly aspens, And so I hunted that, and I moved deer. It wasn't what I was looking for, but I moved deer, and I was right. There was game up in there. And I combed the whole thing, no elk. So I said, okay, I'm going to sneak down and go down to the southern part of that hill. And as I'm going down, there's a little level spot right there, like a little ledge almost. But I was right there, and I was scanning through my scope, my super.
Are you seated? Are you kneeling?
I was standing at that point.
Okay.
And I'm looking through the scope like this, just scanning the tree line, because they like going in and out of that tree line, and I just seeing if anything was coming in or out. And I look, and I saw a big, dark figure that just came out over here.
This is the area.
This is it right in here.
You saw the
This side.
Now, can you describe? You were way up on that hill up there.
I was up on that hill looking down on this draw right this.
Where did you first see the movement?
When I come over when I come on down, start walking down to that second level. You see it right there?
Yeah.
And I saw something on all fours that looked just like a bear.
Now, was it inside? Was it out here?
It was out here in front of these little quakes. It was down on all fours.
Okay.
And it was just, right in here, and it had its back to me at first. It was facing this direction, and it was on all fours, and I go, my God, that's a big bear. So I put the scope on it like this, and I start turning it up. It was a 3x9. And I go, my God, that's the biggest bear I've seen yet in Colorado.
And it's on all fours.
Oh, it's on all fours. Yeah.
And what's it doing?
Its nose is down by the ground. I guess it was rutting around, But like I said, that was the biggest bear I have ever seen, ever, And I'm watching it because I like bears, until it turned around.
Well, hang on. How far away is this?
About 650 yards.
Okay.
I am in position.
Okay, so this is where Jack first saw him. And it was down low. Now Jack is about 5'10", I think. Conrad. They're both wearing white shirts. Now from here with
Jack is going to go behind me and show you the position of which he saw where the height was on all fours.
Affirmative. Affirmative. So he thinks it was about that tall.
Of his barking on all fours.
Jack is standing there. Conrad's down roughly where it was. Now with my bare eyes, I certainly would have seen movement with my naked eyes. But I brought it in with my scope, and I kill things at 500, even further. That's not a hard shot for me. Mm-hmm. It isn't. But I wasn't hunting it. I just wanted to enjoy watching it, So it turns around. It was facing this way. Look, it was facing this direction, and I'm up over here, up on this little mountain. And it turns around, and it stands up, and it stands up, and it stands up, and I'm looking through the scope watching this, and I go, that's not a bear. That's not a bear I've ever seen. There was no snout. There was no ears. It wasn't a bear. And when it stood up, I go, my God, it's huge. And it's on two legs. This is the exact location you saw something.
A big monster.
And you were up on that hill.
Yes, on that hill right there.
About 500 yards away. And So you had hiked up the hill, right?
No, sir. I drove up. I
You-
drove my Ranger. I used to be able to drive up there before they barricaded it. And there's a road, a nothing road that goes clear to the top up there.
And then you
And then I walked down
You
because I
hiked down?
thought I saw something move.
okay, so
I wanted
you
to
saw
sneak
some
down.
you saw some movement. Did you see it out here or did you see it in the woods?
It was right next to the trees. It was right next to the quakes.
So the
And it
very
was on
first
all
thing,
fours.
the very first thing you saw
It was something moving.
was something moving inside the forest or
No,
outside
on the
forest?
outside.
Right on the edge of the
Yeah,
forest.
just right kissing the trees, just right by the trees. But it was, I see, there's things that animals eat because there's like aspirin in this.
Sure.
And it's good for pulled muscles or hurt injuries. They eat this.
I was so scared. I eventually got down on my belly where I could still watch it through the scope. And I prayed to God he didn't know I was there.
It was a dark chocolate brown, a dark chocolate brown or a lighter black. That's the best I can
Okay.
remember.
Was
Dark
it in full?
chocolate,
What
though,
time of day
dark.
was this?
About 4:30, 5:30, right in there.
So getting towards
Just
dusk
before this is when you hunt.
is when you hunt. So
Yeah.
you're getting set up looking for the hunt.
Yes, I'm looking for game.
So it's still daytime though. It's not
It's still
nighttime.
daytime.
It's not even dusk.
Oh no, you could see as clear as can be.
So you're up there with your
Yes.
rifle.
Yes.
Are you using binoculars or are you just
My
seeing this
scope.
with your,
I
did you
use my
see this with
scope.
your bare eyes
I use
initially?
my scope. If I see something, then I scope it.
You scope it immediately.
Right, I scope it immediately. It's
So
too good of a scope.
So the first thing you saw was with your bare eyes, though. You saw some
I
movement,
saw
then you scoped it.
movement, then I scoped it.
Okay. So what position are you in when you're up on the hill?
I was standing up as I was when I thought I saw something move, and I wanted to get closer, and especially for getting a better shot at it. I went to that second knoll right there. You know, where you come down the hill and there's like you can't quite see it from this angle.
Okay.
But you were on it. You were dead nuts on it.
As I am up here, this is the view from up at the top. There's Conrad and Jack down there. 2, 3, 10 power.
It's in there grubbing around, smelling stuff, you know, and
Seemed to have its head down.
yeah, what a bear would normally do, you know. So I thought, this is one of the biggest bear I've ever seen, because its shoulders on all fours were about this high. I'd say at least 4.5 feet.
Because these small aspens are about 3 feet tall.
Yeah, about 3 feet tall.
So it was well above.
Yeah, way above these, way above this kind of foliage on the ground.
Okay, so you see it, you're watching. How long did you watch it for as it was down low?
I watched it about 4 or 5 minutes until it stood up.
And then it stood up.
And then it stood up.
Before you go on. So it was meandering. It was
just meandering.
moving around.
It wasn't in a hurry. It wasn't going fast at all, just rooting around.
So it's coming this way.
Yeah, it was rooting around with its back to me.
Okay.
The back was to me. You couldn't see it. You couldn't see the head until it turned around.
Okay, so it's on its fours. Whereabout did it stand up?
About in here. We're real close to where it stood up. And when it stood up on 2 legs like this, of course I'm looking for a bear head. It wasn't a bear head. There were no ears. There were no snout. It was just flat face and rounded head, no neck. And when this thing stood up, my God, a low estimate would be 9 foot, a low one.
Well, we were talking earlier, you showed me these trees.
Yeah, its head would have hit the branches.
You know, I can reach here almost 8 feet tall. These branches here.
It would be up to that. It'd be under these. It'd almost have to duck under these. It would duck under these.
And this thing, I'm telling you, like I said, 9-10 feet tall. I'd say at least it had to be really close to 4 feet wide. Hair all over its body. It was nothing like the skunk ape. Not even close. Not even close from what I remember. This was some other kind of creature. And I spent months in the woods at a time, you know, doing guide work. I've never, ever seen anything like this in Colorado, ever. And it was about 4 feet wide. Compared to the weight of a big elk, you know, they 750, 800 pounds, you know, depends on the size of the rack. That's 150 pounds by itself. I'd say it was 1,000 or 1,100 pounds. It was like 2 elk.
Wow.
This thing was, I mean, it was legs and arms, and its chest was about 3 feet thick. That's what it looked like.
Was it barrel shaped? Was it V shaped?
It was a little V-shaped, a little bit, but it was this way. It was big. I mean, huge. And when it walked, you could see biceps, and it was going like this. And I just prayed it didn't know I was there. It was so big and so powerful and so thick, and it could cover ground. I was watching it walk, and bears don't walk like that, first of all.
So this is the fence up in front of us. You saw it. So it followed the tree line here.
Yeah, it was right in front of the tree line.
And it walked over that fence.
It was walking like Con was, you know, and it wasn't like speed walking. It was just walking.
Just long strides, and I pray to God he didn't see me. I didn't go back there for probably 7 years. I was so petrified. I just wouldn't go back for 7 years unless I had a buddy with a backup weapon.
Now, you'd mentioned you're hunting. What caliber rifle? You mentioned something about this, and it was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
What were you shooting?
I was shooting a high-powered 7mm Magnum hand loads. And like I said, I can kill things for over 500 yards.
And you expressed to me...
I didn't know if it'd stop it. I didn't know it would get to me first before I could actually stop it, because how fast it covered ground, it wouldn't take him, I'm saying him, but it wouldn't take this creature long to get to me, you know. And my Ranger was way over on that dirt road. I had a long way to get to it. I didn't know if I could, I knew it'd catch me. I just knew it. So I laid on my belly, and I blended in with the earth as best I could and didn't move.
Blaze orange, I'm sure.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You know, and if there was colorblind, it's just dark to them.
Yeah.
So I might have looked like a bush, I don't know. Or it knew and it didn't want to, you know, I'm a peon probably. They didn't want to fool with me, you know. But I didn't know. I didn't know what it would do. And like I said, when you can't believe stuff like this, no one else will, is what you think. That's why you don't tell anyone.
Yeah.
You're still dumbfounded. You cannot believe, you know, as the saying goes, we think we're the apex of the wood. We're nothing. It's like going to Africa and taking on an elephant, you know, or a big old lion or something. I mean, they run stuff in the woods in Africa.
So
Well,
do you think this thing noticed you?
I hope not.
I mean, so it didn't apparently. It wasn't apparent.
I wasn't making noise. I was stationary at that point until it stood up. And as it stood up, I kneeled down because I wasn't sure what it was, you know, at first. I got down, and then when I saw it standing up, and I'm going, oh my God, it fully stretched up. I laid down on my belly at that point, looking through my scope.
How long was it down on all fours or down low? How long?
I would say about 20 seconds, maybe a little bit longer.
Okay.
I was watching it. It looked like it was just grubbing around for little berries and stuff, you know, like a bear would, you know. That's the first thought through my mind. It's just a bear grubbing, you know, getting its berries and stuff. What it was eating, I don't know. I never got that close.
And it just got up like, I'm bored with this.
He's done.
I'm done.
I'm done, yeah.
And it just walked over. When it got to the fence, did it seem to...
It didn't stop at all. It walked right over it.
But its strides were huge. It could cover distance fast. That's what scared me. I had to get out of there because, man, if it could go that fast, climbing that hill, chasing me, it's going to run the top. It's going to run me over.
Well, let's head on over there.
And I wasn't sure if my 7 mag could stop it. I'm not kidding you. I wasn't sure. And then it went straight for that fence right there.
Okay, we'll go over there in a minute.
Okay.
But You just said something interesting. You didn't think your 7 mag would stop
No.
you. Today we came out here and you brought something. Why did you bring this and what did you bring?
This, I can shoot Magnum 3.5 inch Magnums out of it. And
so it's a shotgun.
It's a semi-automatic shotgun. As fast as you can pull the trigger, it will unload this magazine.
And what do you got loaded in there?
I got double-let bucks with high-powered Magnum rounds.
Why'd you do that?
I feel a little spooked even being here. I feel a lot safer with you guys here because we got more firepower and more eyes on the ground.
Yeah.
But if something happens to you, one of us is going to have to try to stop this thing, you know, if it's going to come for us.
Now this happened in 2010. You used to hunt up here all the time.
Oh God, I knew every inch of these, of all the back roads, and I did guided hunts with friends and other people. I used to guide hunt back here.
After seeing this thing, how long did it take for you to come back here?
Between 7.5, 8 years. I wouldn't even come. You couldn't get me here. But I finally got some courage up.
It spooked you that bad?
Yes. And I'm telling you, there ain't much that scares me. I've been chased by bear. I've been chased by wild hogs, treed by hogs. More than once with a bear. Yeah, this scared me worse than a bear. This was much, much bigger than a bear. Furthermore, I never saw a creature like this.
Right.
I would describe it as a monster. It's something you would see in a magazine, a monster.
And it didn't see you.
No.
Apparently it didn't see you.
No, I would down low. Matter of fact, when you squatted down, if it wasn't for your shirt, I wouldn't have hardly seen you.
Okay.
Yeah, and I didn't move. I was scared to death it would see me.
So you saw it moving this way. Let's go over there.
Okay.
Okay, Con, great. So we're going to go over there and reach.
It didn't even, it wasn't in its way. It walked over it, just walked over it, and man, when I saw it, I was clear enough to book back to my Ford Ranger. I couldn't wait to get out of there. And like I said, it affected me so bad. And I grew up in that. I mean, I've been here 35 years. I used to take people back in there and we used to harvest elk, I wouldn't even tell anybody, nor did I go back. I was afraid to see it again.
So it's coming along here. You're watching it from 500 yards away. You're watching it come here. And as it walks here, it reaches this fence. And when it hits the fence, what happens?
It didn't even hesitate. It stepped over it like it was walking over a curb.
And then just continued along the tree line.
The tree line right through here.
And just followed it along the outside.
And when it was going that way, I said, this is my chance to get the hell out of here. And I started cutting across where you were up there.
I'm going to have Conrad, my son. He's 6'3" plus. He's a big fella. And I'm going to have him step in for Sasquatch and come to this fence. So
okay.
Conrad, come on over and let me show you. Let's see what this looks like. This fence is a good 3 foot tall. Conrad, Sasquatch. This fence is a good 3 foot tall. And Jack, you said it didn't even break stride stepping over it.
It walked over it like it wasn't even there. It didn't hop, it didn't lift a leg, it walked over it frontwards. Walked right over it.
Yet its hands were below its knees.
Yes.
Which puts its crotch at the very lowest 3 feet high. Which I'm guessing if you go from here to your knees or here, this thing was massive.
It was.
And it walked right over here. Now, Conrad, could you step over this fence?
No.
No. The only way you could step over this fence, we found this log here. And, we're adding a foot with this log.
It might even be more than a foot.
Maybe a little more than a foot.
Yeah, I'm looking at about 16 inches.
That is,
made
you're
it possible.
clearing it.
And he still got hung up.
Yep. Stand on top of that fence really quick.
And he still got hung up. Look where it is. It's right in his crotch. It's right now in his crotch.
I'm going to stand next to you. I'm 6 feet tall.
Oh yeah, it's almost 2 feet.
Now you're 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
When you saw this thing, was it legs proportional to its torso? Were they shorter? Were they longer?
No, they just the arms looked out of place.
The arms looked out of place.
They looked the longest arms I've ever seen on a critter.
Okay.
that big.
And it just walked across here, followed down on, and you
You know,
skedaddled.
like I said, I wasn't sure from that distance if it started coming running towards me. I'm visualizing this, you know, if it
Yeah.
did, what would I do? I'm too far from my truck to get away. It would take some really good, well-placed shots in the face or the head to bring this thing down. Chest shots, I've seen elk run off.
7mm mag, which is a
7
serious round.
high-powered rounds, and I load them. I self-load. I load hot.
That's all I can tell you about that one. That one scared me. That one really, really scared me.
Well, that's understandable. So what do you, with time behind you, what do you think these things are?
I think they're a creature that is the best hide and go seek creatures on the earth. I believe they're highly, highly intelligent. I believe that they can, listen, we're finding ring-tailed raccoons we didn't know existed. We're finding giraffes with zebra stripes on it, but it's a giraffe they didn't know existed. We're still discovering creatures that we didn't even know and this is modern day. How long has this monster been in those woods?
So do you think it's a,
Now that I've done a little research, you know what I think it is?
tell me.
I really believe in my heart that it's what's left over from the Gigantopithecus. If you look that name up, you'll understand what they look like, how big they get, how dark in color. This was dark. This one was, you know how dark chocolate brown is almost a black? It's almost between a brown and a black. It was that, or it was a light black. That's the fur color of this thing.
Okay.
And like I said, there's no snout like a bear, and there was no bear ears. Fur all the way down. Fur. Yeah.
So you think it's more of a
leftover.
leftover?
Well, look. Sharks are prehistoric. Whales are prehistoric. A cockroach is prehistoric. Way back when, in the time of the flood.
Yeah.
They still survived.
Yeah.
You know, and from a little bit now that I'm starting to do research, because I'm more intrigued now how no one really knows about these, you know, or they're not mentioning it.
Yeah.
And what I think is this. Now listen to this one. I got to know some of the game wardens being a guide. You get to talk to them and see how they're doing. How did you see anything? You know, have you saw the herd where the herd moved? You know, are they over the mountain or not? You know, they'll tell you, especially if you're a guy. They'll work with you. I saw a grizzly and a manager that works up in Cripple Creek. They were with me, a manager, professional people. And I always carry binoculars. We're coming out of West Cliff. And right there where Wetmore is, a mile up from the intersection. You turn left, you go to Pueblo. You turn right, you go up to West Cliff, that direction. We went up, coming down that way. And just before Wetmore, looked over, and here's this huge bear. There is no doubt. I mean, we were sharing the binoculars back and forth. There was a lady friend. Her and I both were sharing the binoculars. She goes, "That's a grizzly." I go, "Yes, it's a grizzly, and they're supposed to be extinct here." Wow. So when I finally met one of the fish and game officers, you know, he recognized me, and I said, "You're not going to believe what I saw in Wetmore." And I told him, and he just laughed. And I said, "Yeah," and they say they're extinct. And he goes, "Yeah, I know." In other words, they know they're not extinct. My point is this: how do you know they don't know these creatures are out there if they're not admitting that a grizzly is still existing? Yeah. Okay. And I think the last grizzly sighting was like in the San Juan Mountain area back in the 63, and that's only what's been documented, you know. And that was quite a story. You need to look up that grizzly attack.
You used to come up here with a friend of yours,
Mikey.
and he's since passed.
Yes, he's dead now.
But his wife
is still
And
alive.
you just came. This just came to you a minute ago.
Yeah, on the way in here, I don't know why I thought of it, but I remember her telling me she was camping alone in Montana in a most beautiful area, God blessed area. And this big creature came and harassed her, and she was scared to death being in it. I'm going to call her tonight and see what she can recollect of it.
Yeah.
And if it sounds something that'd be real interesting, I'll turn her on to you and see if she'll talk
I'd love
to you.
to get that story.
And you really need to interview her.
Yeah.
That was an incredible story. So, but I wasn't looking for a grizzly. I thought they were extinct from what I read in the fishing, hunting regs. They talk about some of the wildlife and on how the grizzly's extinct, and they're not extinct. They're not extinct. I think that's the story with these big monster creature. They call them Sasquatches with all the hair all over their body. I think they're Gigantus pithecus that is left over. That's all. I don't think it's no mystery. But they hide that well. And now that I know these things exist, I'm possessed.
Yeah. So
I'm
what
possessed.
What have you been doing? What have you personally been doing? What have you
Now I
experienced?
search for these footprints, and I've got 2 on film. I think I shared them with you over there at Beaver Creek, and it wasn't as big as the footprints wasn't big as what I've read now. It must have been a juvenile, wasn't quite an adult, but 14.5 inches is not a slouch either. And I'd say it was about 5 inches wide, maybe almost 6, I was trying to get a cast and it didn't work. I was so frustrated. So now I look for that. I look for breaks where you'd have to hold the tree to snap it.
Now, as I'm driving up here, obviously somebody has cut this off recently. But my question is, what bent this down onto the road in the first place? Because that happened this year, recently. Somebody trying to shut down the road? Don't know.
I look for stuff like that. I look for the footprints. I listen what people are hearing knocks, and they believe that is a form of communication. I listen for howls, and I've heard these howls when I wasn't looking. That's what I remember. I remember as clear as yesterday, I'm going, that's an animal I have never heard before.
Where would this be?
This is Black Mountain, over by Wall.
Okay, what year-ish?
Oh, shoot. It was before 2010, because I heard this, but I didn't know what made that sound.
Was it another hunting?
Oh, yeah, I did a lot of hunting in that area.
So can you describe what you were hearing?
I walk real slow. I like to jump stuff up. I walk real slow, and I pick my steps. I try not to make any noise, not step on sticks. I was deer hunting this time for a muley, and I heard this howl roar that I have never, in all the years since I was a little boy in the woods, have ever heard a howl like this in my life.
Can you, I know you can't emulate it, but can you kind of emulate sort of what it sounded like?
Well, the thing was that when it howled, it wasn't like a bear, or a coyote, or a mountain lion. They're loud, but they're not long drawn. This thing went,
It just continued.
oh my God. And it was like on a megaphone. And I'm going, nothing does that. That's the first thing to my.
If you had to take a guess, how far away were you talking? I mean, were you?
I'd say a half a mile to a mile.
Okay.
Yeah.
Coming out of the woods.
Out of the woods, the deep part of the woods. It was more to the south by southwest of Wall. Okay. And it blew my mind, because I wasn't looking for nothing. I didn't know nothing about nothing. I was just hunting, hunting and gathering. I wasn't really, the only experience I had prior to that howl was Florida with that skunk ape thing. So, but I gave up on it. I didn't know what was in Colorado. I didn't really even think about it. I thought maybe it was just some kind of creature in Florida, I didn't know they're everywhere. They're everywhere now, all over the world.
So you hear this?
I'm hearing this thing and I'm going, this ain't right. There's something wrong here.
What time of day was this?
This was morning, about, I'd say 9:30 in the morning, between 8:30 and 9:30.
In the middle of the night.
Oh, no, this daytime.
Daytime.
It was a howl that I have never, ever experienced in my life, hearing ever, in all the tens of years of spending in the woods and guiding and fish guiding and ATVing and you name it. Never heard.
I'll pull up some audio and
yeah,
we can review it. Maybe we can come
up with a sound.
Now you've also you've been up by Beaver Creek.
Beaver Creek, yeah, and that's my new area I'm scouting.
What have you experienced up there?
Beaver Creek, I got run out by fishing team because I didn't know it was turkey season. I lost track. I used to hunt turkey there, and I forgot what month it was, and I was so excited. I was going to put some bait out, if I heard something like tree knocks or saw footprints or busted trees up high or bomas, bomas made out of tree branches and bushes and stuff. I was going to bait it because it's close enough to my house I could afford to drive back and forth.
Before you go, what leads you out to Beaver Creek? Why Beaver Creek?
Because I got the footprints. But this was a different area. The footprints were further down.
So how did you find the footprints?
The footprints?
Yeah.
Jeffrey and I ride motorcycles. And I love that drive. I like to look for the turkey, and there's bear out there and a lot of deer, lots of game, and there's fish in there, little brookies. I just love the drive back there. It's beautiful. And we pulled over to relieve ourselves on the, it shook us out of us from the bike ride. So I relieved myself, and he went over here somewhere, and he was going to do the same thing before we continued, right? So I was close to that mound where the footprints were, and I was on that side, and Jeffrey was way over here. And I hear, definite knocks.
And there were 3 of them.
3 of them. And I'm hearing this and I go, I've read about these knocks, And it was really funny. I didn't want to say nothing to Jeffrey at first because I want to see if I could hear more, because when he talks loud. But he was still over here doing his thing. And then when he was done, he comes over to me and he goes, I'm hearing knocks. And I laughed. I go, I didn't want to say nothing. I wanted to see if you heard it too. And he told me what he heard. So we know we heard. I wasn't just me. He heard him too.
This on top of this pile.
No, not at first. And so I'm thinking, maybe we got a creature in here. One of those big creatures, And so I started looking around, and that's when I found one footprint here, and the other one looked like he was bracing himself down a little lower, like this. And I got 2 prints just like this. And I got them on film.
And that's the one with the glove, right?
That's the one I had. I wear like a 3 or 4X glove. I can't even find the gloves that fit my hand. That's how big my hands are. They're thick and they're long, And even with that big glove next to it, it still was about this far past the glove, But I did that for a comparison in size, so you could see the difference in size.
So you heard tree knocks up there.
Yeah, and I got the footprints on film. I tried to get a cast, and the sand, it dried out because it rained that night about 1:30, 2:30 in the morning. It rained, and they were still there, and I had to take Jeffrey back, and I didn't have my plaster kit. It was in my my garage. So I had to take him back. He had to go to work. I went, and it was about like 3 hours later. I got a hold of you and see if you wanted to meet me and help me get these cast, right? I went there and the sand dried out, and if you touched it, it would slide, and it ruined the perfect footprints. It ruined it. And that's the story with the footprints, and that's how we found them, was on the motorcycle ride.
So you've had knocks there.
Knocks and the footprints, and I figured, yeah, they're in here.
Now you also you were riding up
Shelf Road?
No, up where you got growled at.
Oh, Wall Mountain.
What year was this?
Oh, shoot. That was my brother last year.
Okay.
About this time. He came for a visit out of Washington.
Was it last year or the year before?
It was 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah, I got it confused. About 2 years back. Yeah, it wasn't last year. It was longer than that. About 2 years ago. And I was on my dirt bike. My brother was in the middle, and Jeffrey was down below. In case my brother had trouble, he could run up and help him, because he's not a real experienced rider. He was on my big ATV, that 700. And I was leading, showing him where we had to go up this nothing road, this nothing 4x4 road. And I was in the lead, I'd say about from here to your truck away. And my brother's where I am, and I was where your truck is. And Jeffrey was a little bit about where the river is. And I heard the loudest growl. This is Wall Mountain. This is where I saw that black, I thought it was a person standing by the quakes over there.
So that's where Jack is, walking up this trail here. Something was been bedding down here. Been laying down here. There's more right here. So this is the area Jack said he saw the figure. Was it just his eyes playing tricks on him? Or did he actually see something up here? I found no fresh sign except some bedding. But in this area? And there's, oh, that's fresh. That's super fresh poop. Elk sign, super fresh today. This morning probably. So maybe that's what he saw. What did you see?
I saw something about 1.5 feet taller than you. It's the silhouette of the head was twice the size of your head, and I'd say at least a foot, maybe 1.5 feet wider than you.
And I was in the same place.
Yes, and when I went back, when I said I'm going to go back and see if I can see it, it was gone.
Same area. As I'm going up, I'm hearing this horrendous growl. It wasn't a howl, it was a growl.
Well, this is a beautiful area, and you were riding up here, what, about a year ago?
About 8 months.
About 8 months ago. When who you were riding?
I was with Jeffrey, and I was with my brother from Washington.
And
he was on the Grizzly.
He's on the Grizzly, and you guys were tootling along this?
Yes.
And
coming up through here.
You were coming up, or were we going down?
We were coming up.
You're coming up.
Yeah,
okay.
and he had trouble, navigating. So And I was ahead of him because he was a little slow going up it. And Jeffrey was even further back. And I finally crested an area where I could stop to see how he was doing, because I was concerned, if he's gonna do, have a problem. And I heard the loudest growl.
So you were stopped at the time?
No, I was still going, and I stopped.
Okay.
I was still going uphill. You couldn't stop or you'd lose traction, and it was real slippery. So I went as far as I could, and as I'm climbing it, going up it, I heard the loudest growl, and my whole body was vibrating. And then when I got up to an area where I could stop and let Tommy catch up with me and Jeffrey, I run up to him. I said, "Did you hear that?" And he goes, "Hear what?" I said, "Did you hear that growl?" He goes, "I don't think so." I said, "Did you feel anything on your body, like a vibration?" He said, "I felt the vibration, but I wasn't sure if it was because of the grizzly or not."
So you guys all came up here. You didn't see anything.
No.
You heard.
I heard it and felt it both. I actually felt it.
But you kept going.
I had to. I couldn't stop on the hill. I was afraid how it would affect Tommy and Jeffrey.
Sure.
You don't stop on hills.
How far behind were they?
He was probably just around that corner.
Okay, so 30 yards behind you?
Yeah,
right
35, 40, something like that.
And it was right in this area. I mean, maybe a little further up the hill.
And when I shut it down, it was still growling and never stopped. And this growl was so intense, it shook my guts.
What side of the road was it coming from? Do you know?
This side. It'd be the southeast side of the bank over here. That's the side I heard it the loudest, in my left ear.
Okay.
And I was by myself, so it wasn't any other machine around me, and I know the sound of this.
Yeah.
This thing let out a growl. I've heard bear growl. I've heard, mountain lions and things like. This was none of that.
And this was only one growl that you heard?
It was one long, continuous growl. It was still growling as I'm climbing.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Long growl.
Wow.
And it was so loud, it sounded like it was in a megaphone. It was so loud, I could feel it on my skin. My skin and my body and my organs, it vibrated. I could feel the reverberation from the frequency.
And my brother finally made it. He did make it up in an area I wasn't sure. He finally got there. I told him, shut it off. So he killed it. I said, did you hear that growl? He goes, I said, I felt it even. He goes, honestly, I didn't know if it was the machine or the growl, but I did feel something inside me. It was vibrating, but I thought it was just the machine, trying to climb this hill. And I said, okay, well, there's that. But Jeffrey, he was too far back. I don't think, he was not close enough, I think, to hear it or feel it, because he was down yonder. So that was the story with that growl. It was the loud. I've heard bear and I've heard all kinds of different things growl. Nothing came close to this. Nothing. This thing was so loud, this growl. I mean, it was like growling in a microphone, and big speakers were carrying this growl. You could feel it in your guts. It worried me.
Now, we've been riding this road. Where are we in relation to anything else? We're out in the boonies.
We're heading down towards 2. We're heading down. We're several miles from 2. That will take you the back way to Salida.
Okay.
Yeah. It worried me. If something could make a growl with this intensity and that velocity of a growl and that loud, everything, how big is this thing? Is it going to come out of the woods, which is real thick at that point? It's real thick trees. I wouldn't see it till it was on me, and it's too late then.
What time of day was this?
Let me think. It was pretty close to this time.
I mean, now it's what, pushing 2 o'clock?
2 o'clock, yeah. Yeah, it was after lunch, and it was probably around 1:30, 2 o'clock.
What time of year was this?
The latter part of 24.
So fall.
I think it was just before winter.
So fall of 24.
Yeah.
So we're coming up on it, like September-ish?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
It was fall. Yeah, it was before winter.
Was it hunting season yet?
Yeah, in some areas, some zones would still be hunting.
Okay.
But there were no hunters. There were nobody up here when we came. Nobody.
Weekday?
No vehicles, nothing.
Weekday?
Huh?
Weekday?
It was a weekday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing all this.
And that's the rest of the story.
And that's the rest of the story.
As Paul Harvey used to say.
I'll keep this as a teaser for the other people. You just told me about Jeff finding something.
Yes, on Copper Gulch Road.
Copper Gulch Road.
Yes, and
he found
just recently, and it scared him. And he don't get scared easy. I mean, he grew up in the woods. And he says this is a big tree up from his uncle's property, big, that was turned upside down and driven upside down into the ground.
Well, we'll have to go check that out.
Oh, that's our next expedition, is back up in those mountains right there. We're going to do that.
Yeah.
I'm going to make it happen, Glenn. You and I are going to go with him.
Excellent.
Yeah, we're going to check this out for ourselves.
Awesome. Jack, thank you for sharing, and I really appreciate it.
Okay, pal.
Absolutely. Okay.
All right. We did it.
I hope you enjoyed that. Jack is quite a guy, and he's had some cool encounters. Some which, I don't know. I wasn't there, but he certainly believes what he encountered. And I've encountered a lot of the similar stuff from Beaver Creek, Florence Mountain Park, a lot of the similar things. And so, yeah, I believe Jack. So, again, if you like all this, let me know. Comment below, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And if you or anybody you know has an encounter story, let me know. Encounters@modernexplorer.me. Love to document your story. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.
Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget. I use them all to push me to my best. So treat the worst of times just like a test. If only I could go back in time, I'd tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits, don't be rigid, always work towards a prime. Surround yourself with open minds, people can change your life. A few friends with intent can help you feel alive. Find a passion, take some action, and with a little time, just be patient, make a statement, try to enjoy your life. They'll try to kick you while you're down. They wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing, won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless.